Hello, I'm Saddam and I'm one of the co-founders of BuilderKit. So in this video today, I'll give you a quick walkthrough of how to configure, set up and run the image upscaler and enhancer app to your local system. I'll also show you how to set up the public URL through ngrok tunneling for testing the webhook locally. Let's move forward by opening the BuilderKit documentation here. So under the AI apps, open image upscaler and enhancer. But before moving forward, let's make sure that you already have access to the pro GitHub repository of BuilderKit. Otherwise, you'll not be able to download this project. So let's copy, open the terminal, and I'll create my project under desktop directory. So let's enter the command. Let's keep the name as image enhancer. Hit enter. So it will take few seconds to download the project from GitHub to our local system. Now that the project has been downloaded, so we can close the terminal and we can open our project from cursor. You can also use VS Code, whatever is a preferable editor for you. Open the folder, go to desktop and select the project. So here you can see we are in the main branch. To able to access the image enhancer and upscaler project, we need to switch our branch to image enhancer and upscaler. After that, let's install the required dependencies for this project by running the command pnpm install. So here in the documentation, you can see the exact steps being followed here. After that, we need to create a .env.local file to configure the environment variables. So let's run this command. And here you can see a .env.local file has been created. So here we need to configure all the environment variables. So since we are testing the app locally, so let's keep the app URL localhost 3000. But if you are deploying it to the production, make sure to change this to the domain of your project, the project URL that you are using. So after that, let's configure other variables here. Now that the environment variable configuration is done, let's move forward with the next steps. So here we need to set up the Supabase. So we need a users table for this project, but since we have already created a users table in our previous tutorial of text to speech, we don't need to do that again and again repeatedly. So let's move forward and create the image enhancer and upscaler table. So in this SQL project, go to SQL editor and click on create new snippet. So paste the SQL query snippet here and hit run. So it will create a table for us. So if you go to table editor, you can see a new table called image enhancer and upscaler table has been created. Next, we need to sync these Supabase tables to our project. So for that, let's go to this documentation. And here we don't need to repeat these first two steps, Supabase login and Supabase initialization basically, since we have already done for this for our previous projects. So if you're doing it for the first time, make sure that you follow these first two steps and then only run this command. Otherwise, it will not work for you. So I'll run this command to sync the Supabase table to our local project here. So we need to update the project ID. So for that, let's go to project setting, and under this reference ID, you can see the project ID. So copy this one and paste it here, hit enter. So if you go to src types and supabase.ts, you'll be able to find that the Supabase table has been synced here. So here you can see image enhancer table has been synced. Next, let's follow the next step. So we are done with the project setup, but we need to create a public URL. Since the replicate response will be handled through webhook, so we need to create a public URL that will redirect all the requests from third-party services to our local host. So you can go to this blog by BuilderKit, where it explains the step-by-step process on how to create a public URL, what is webhook, and how to set up, configure ngrok, everything completely. So basically ngrok is used for tunneling and creating that public URL for you. So let's open the terminal again and I'll run ngrok http 3000. Hit enter and it will provide me with a public URL. So this is a temporary public URL. Every time you run this command, you will get a different URL. And now for testing purpose, let's go to this replicate file under utils. So here under utils, there is this replicate.ts. Here in line number 24, you can find this line const origin, basically a origin variable. So replace this variable with our public URL that we have just created through ngrok. So you don't need to push this command, push this code to basically this specific particular change to production, since this is only for testing purpose locally. Once we are done with this, we can just run this command to create our server and run this application. So for that, Since I'm using PNPM, so I'll run PNPM run dev. But if you're using NPM Node NPM manager, so you can use NPM run dev. So you can see our app is ready on localhost 3000. So let's try it out. So here you can see our app is live on localhost. Now if I click on get started, it will take us to the dashboard of the image enhancer and upscaler application. Now that we are inside the dashboard, we can test the application completely. So let's upload an image here. I'll use this image and select enhance image. You can alternatively select upscale if you want to upscale the image. So right now I'll go with enhance image and I'll click on generate image. So you can see the image generation has started and it will take few seconds or maybe a minute to generate the image for you. So as you can see, we have received the generation, the output from the replicate, and it is available here. The image is the response is a bit funny, but you can play around with the prompt to improve it as per your requirement. You can also hover to this image and see you are able to download this image as well. So here you can see I can download this image. So that is for this demo video of how to set up and configure the image upscaler and enhancer application. That's it. Thank you and bye bye until the next time.